Hi, Krista here. I am so excited to be with you today. Lovely day here in South Africa, sunny day. Looking forward to spending a bit more time with more of my family members, my loved ones, and then with you, the people that I care so much about, and we've actually grown so close. So thank you for showing up once again and still being part of my life and still sharing this journey with me. I actually wanted this morning, and I sat and I thought, okay, I just want to pop in because what's been happening, and I've had a couple of people walk through my doors this week, and the same theme keeps on coming through. A lot of people are struggling with communication. A lot of people are having conversations that end up in a destructive conversation, and it actually takes away some of the joy in their relationships. And I just wanted to share with you one of the thoughts that really popped up, and it keeps on coming up for me in every consultation that I do, and I want to share it with you. So, because a lot of people walk in and they say to me, you know what, we love one another, but we just cannot have the conversations with one another where we hear one another, we start the conversation, and before we know, it's actually at a dead end and we just don't hear one another. It ends up in arguments. So in the end, we either fight and we get tired of fighting. So what we do is we either fight or we stop talking. Now, we all know in a relationship, if we are not talking, if we're not keeping the conversation alive, if we don't have constructive communication and conversations going, we actually end up drifting apart, and we don't want that. So, are you also experiencing that? That sometimes you so badly want to have just a conversation, and before you know, you go into an argument. One of the things that I want to share with you today that I've realized is often what happens is that when conversations start, communication go astray, the moment that one of the two parties feel either attacked or they get into a place of where they feel they need to defend. So one of the main things that we have to do, we need to pay attention when we try and have a conversation that the other person does not feel, or that we ourselves don't feel attacked. Because the moment that we feel attacked, we actually go spontaneously into a place of wanting to defend. And then we are already setting up this conversation to go all wrong. So what are 3 pointers that I want to share with you today that hopefully can help you the next time you go into a conversation to pay attention to this and just take note of what is happening. We often don't pay attention enough to ourselves in the conversation. And I know I have to so often listen to myself, because what I bring into the conversation sets the tone of my interaction in the conversation. So what is the first point I want to share with you? The use of trigger words or trigger phrases. Now, trigger words can be different for different people, but most of us, there's certain of trigger words that we all immediately spontaneously react to. The one for me is you should have, or you shouldn't have, or why did you? The moment I hear those words, it immediately gets me into a space of where I actually immediately feel like my mother is standing in front of me, or the teacher is standing in front of me, and I have to immediately defend. I'm in trouble. Now, that's a trigger phrase or a trigger word. So if we can try and to steer clear from that. I had an interesting conversation with a couple the other day, and one of the things that came up is the husband said when his wife tells him in a WhatsApp or in a message is, we need to talk, immediately he anticipates when he's going to get home that he's in trouble. And when I asked her, she said no, she would like to spend time with him so that they can have conversations and discussions. For him it was a trigger word. We need to talk means there's heavy stuff and I'm already in trouble. So you come in already feel in a defensive mode. So let's try and find out what are the trigger words in our relationships that we need to avoid. What are the trigger phrases that will create the impression to the other person that they have to possibly be ready to defend themselves? The second thing is tone of voice. We can say things in so many different ways, but our tone of voice will indicate to the person how we really feel. If I come across I say things in an almost authoritarian way, it's not what I say, it's how I say it. It will immediately create the impression for the person to say, I need to defend, or I am being attacked. I had to learn in my life is I have got a voice that can carry quite far. So I don't have to speak loud for other people to realize is, oh, she means business, but then I'm just excited. The more excited I get, the louder my voice, the more assertive. And you can see my body language, which is the third point. My body language, I am quite animated in when I talk. And some people can see that as possibly a way of they have to get ready to have a counter argument. And it's not my intention, but I sometimes come across that way. So if I have to pay attention to how I talk in terms of my tone of voice, my body language, and the words I use, the important thing is I don't want the other person to feel that I am attacking them and that they possibly have to defend themselves. So if we can start our conversations with those pointers in mind, 3 pointers, the words we use, trigger words, try and avoid them, body language, tone of voice, and the fundamental underlying message is, if I want you to hear me, I need to convey a message in a way that you don't feel attacked, because if you feel attacked, you're going to listen to defend and not listen to hear me or to understand me. I hope that this just quick pop in and pointers have given you some food for thought. Let me hear in the comments below your thoughts about this, whether this has helped you, if you can add certain things of what conversations and communications you've learned, tricks of the trade that's helped you to communicate in a way more constructive way. Let us know. We're here to support one another. Give a thumbs up. Give your ideas. We're here to learn and grow from one another. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a lovely day.